Stiff in the golden heart of the vast African savanna, under skies painted with streaks of orange and red, a very special lion cub was born. His name was Leo. The moment he first opened his bright amber eyes, the entire pride rejoiced. His father, King Rafari, stood tall and proud, a symbol of strength across the lands. His mother, Queen Luma, gently nuzzled him, her love as warm as the savanna sun. From all corners of the Pride Lands, the animals gathered to welcome their future king. The elephants let out a mighty trumpet. The zebras stomped their hooves in a rhythmic dance, and even the eagles soared high above, circling in celebration. But little Leo wasn't like the other cubs. From the very beginning, he was filled with an insatiable curiosity. While his friends spent their days play-fighting or napping lazily under the shade of acacia trees, Leo was different. He yearned to explore every hidden path, every mysterious corner of the sprawling savanna. Leo, his mother would often say, her voice soft but firm, "You must stay close to the pride, ward. The world is wide and full of unknowns, and you are still so small." But Leo would just flash a charming smile and reply, "I just want to see what's out there, Mama." He dreamed of being as brave as his father, as strong as the lions in the old tales, and as wise as Ebo, the old tortoise who told stories by the riverbank. His heart was set on adventure. One bright and sunny morning, Leo woke up before anyone else. The pride was still fast asleep. Their gentle snores carried on the morning breeze. Lewin whispered secrets across the tall grass, and a brilliant blue butterfly began to dance just above his nose. He giggled and playfully pounced, but the butterfly fluttered away, teasing him, as if inviting him on a grand chase. Without a second thought, Leo followed. He chased the butterfly through fields of golden grass, leaped over a sparkling stream, and soon found himself in a place he'd never seen before, the Whispering Woods. The trees here were ancient and tall, their branches swaying in the wind, making soft, murmuring sounds like voices sharing ancient secrets. It was cooler in the woods, and the air was thick with the rich scent of damp earth, moss, and wildflowers. "Wow, this is amazing," Leo whispered to himself, his eyes wide with wonder. "Maybe I'll find something special here to show Mama and Papa." But as he ventured deeper, the whispers of the woods grew louder, and the shadows seemed to dance and twist around him. Distant, unfamiliar cries echoed through the trees, and a chill ran down his spine. Suddenly, a small, frightened voice cried out, "Help! Somebody please help me!" Leo froze, his ears perked. The voice was trembling with fear. He cautiously followed the sound until he reached a clearing. There, trapped beneath a heavy tangle of fallen branches, was a young zebra. Her beautiful black and white stripes were covered in dust, and her large, dark eyes were wide with panic. "Don't be scared," Leo called out, trying to sound brave. "I'll help you." The young zebra blinked in surprise. You're a lion. You're going to eat me," she stammered. Leo shook his head quickly. "Note, I'm not like that at all. My name's Leo. I promise. I just want to help." The zebra hesitated for a moment, then gave a weak nod. "I'm sorry. My leg is stuck." Leo gathered all his strength and pushed against the heavy branches. He pushed and he pushed, but he was still just a small cub. The wood wouldn't budge an inch. His tiny paws slipped, and he tumbled backward into the soft grass. Tears of frustration welled up in his eyes. "I'm too small," he muttered, feeling defeated. "I can't do anything right, Bet." Then, he remembered his mother's words, echoing in his mind. "A king isn't strong because of his claws. He's strong because of his heart." Leo wiped his tears away with a paw and stood up, taller than before. "I can't give up." He tilted his head back, took the deepest breath his little lungs could manage, and let out the loudest roar he possibly could. Roar! It wasn't a very mighty roar, more of a squeaky growl. Rilla-butted echoed through the silent woods. And from far away, a deep, rumbling voice answered back. "Who dares roar in my forest?" Splods from behind the ancient trees emerged Tambo, the oldest and mightiest elephant in the entire savanna. His magnificent tusks gleamed like ivory towers, and his enormous feet made the very ground tremble with each step. "Little lion," Tambo said, his voice deep but surprisingly kind, "what brings you to the Whispering Woods?" Leo quickly pointed with his paw. My friend Zuri is trapped. Please, you have to help her. Without a moment's hesitation, Tambo wrapped his powerful trunk around the heavy branches and lifted them as if they were nothing more than feathers. Zuri stumbled free, shaking her dusty mane. Thank you, Tambo, and thank you, Leo, she said, her voice filled with joy and relief. Tambo looked down at the tiny cub with a wise and gentle gaze. That was a very brave roar, little one. It is the small lions with the biggest hearts who grow up to be mighty kings. Leo grinned, a shy but proud smile spreading across his face. By the time they left the woods, the sun was beginning to set, painting the sky in breathtaking shades of pink and gold. Leo knew he was in big trouble. He'd wandered too far from home, and his parents would be worried sick. Zuri limped beside him, her steps still a bit shaky. You saved my life, Leo. I'll never, ever forget it. Leo puffed out his chest and said proudly, that's what friends do. They look out for each other. But the journey home was far from over. They had to cross the dry river, a wide bed filled with slippery moss-covered stones. Zuri was scared to cross, but Leo encouraged her every step of the way. Just step on the flat ones. You can do it. I'm right here with you. Next, they had to pass through the tall grass fields, where long shadows danced menacingly in the twilight. The eerie howls of hyenas echoed in the distance, sending shivers down their spines. Leo, despite his own fear, stood bravely in front of Zuri and tried to look as fierce as he could, even though his paws were trembling. Just as they'd feared, a pack of hyenas emerged from the shadows, their eyes gleaming in the dark, laughing and snarling. But Leo remembered his father's training. A king never runs from danger. He puffed out his tiny chest and let out another roar. This time, it was louder, filled with newfound courage. Stay back. I am Leo, son of King Rafari. The hyenas stopped in their tracks. They recognized that name. King Rafari's strength was known throughout the savannah, and no one dared to face his wrath. The pack leader let out a low growl. We'll meet again, little prince. And with that, they vanished back into the shadows of the night. Zuri looked at him with wide, admiring eyes. You really are brave, Leo. He managed to smile, though his heart was still pounding in his chest. Maybe just a little. When Leo and Zuri finally reached the Pride Lands, the entire Pride was awake and waiting anxiously. Queen Luma rushed to him, tears of relief streaming down her face as she pulled him into a tight embrace. Oh, Leo, where have you been? She cried. I went exploring, he admitted, his head lowered. But I helped someone. This is my new friend Zuri. She was trapped in the woods. King Rafari stepped forward, his expression stern, but his eyes soft. You did a noble thing today, my son, Birth. You must also remember bravery means nothing without wisdom. Leo looked down at his paws, feeling the weight of his father's words. I know, father. I'm sorry I worried you. Rafari smiled and placed a giant, gentle paw on his son's head. You made a mistake, but you also showed courage, kindness, and a big heart. Those are the true marks of a king. That night, under a blanket of endless, shimmering stars, the Pride gathered on Pride Rock. The wise old tortoise, Ebo, looked at Leo and said softly, every great king begins as a small cub who dares to care for others. Leo looked up at the vast night sky, his eyes full of dreams. He knew that somewhere up there, his ancestors were watching him with pride. He may still have been a small cub, but deep inside, Leo knew that one day when his mane was full and his roar was mighty, he would become a king who was not feared, but loved. And from that day forward, he became known across the savannah as Leo, the baby lion king, the little cub with the biggest heart. Thank you so much for joining us on Leo's adventure. If you loved this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, ring the bell so you never miss another tale from the savannah. See you next time.